Hi, my name is Joe Winston, and I teach grade 3 here at Hong Kong International School in Repulse Bay. Our school started using Gmail about 6 years ago. I have to admit, I knew some tips and tricks, but I wasn't using it efficiently. As a school, we frequently use Gmail, Drive, and Docs. But I wanted to introduce Sheets and Forms too. While we learn more about the different apps Google has to offer, I started thinking about all the different ways this could play into student learning. Every angle I looked at led me back to the same thing. All these apps have a big component: communication. I wanted this to become a big part of their learning. Before, typically, the only audience for a student's piece of work was the student and the teacher. Now that we're able to communicate and share, I notice that students step up their game a little bit more when they know that more people are going to be looking at it. So my overall goal for this project was to widen my students' audience for a research project they were creating for our informational writing unit. Each student got to pick a topic that they were interested in learning more about and present their findings to others. I left this open to them. Some used Google Docs, others also used slides, but we all used forms and sheets.
I liked using Google Docs a lot
Why?
because it's just so easy to add pictures. You just have to drag them on instead of going through a whole process of uploading and going to desktop and clicking open on the pictures. You can just drag them on the doc.
We had to write out a story, tape out a story on the computer. So I used Google Docs to do it, and as you can see, I typed up all of my stuff about cephalopods, which was my topic. And then to make my final thing after I done it all on here, I went on to my presentation and I copy and pasted it onto here. So this is my first one and my intro and the other stuff. For me, when you write, it hurts my hand after you wait for a long time, and it's less tiring, and it just sort of makes more sense because instead of having to draw pictures, you can do that, and just take pictures because it wastes time and stuff, and it's quicker. It's a quicker way, and also you can share it with people like all around the world. For example, if you bring it in a notebook, you'll have to bring it with you you have to go on an airplane to bring it into other countries to show them. But for this, you can just go on to share, and then you have to title it. So I'll just title it as my name, and then you go to advanced, and you can type in anybody's email, anybody's name, email, or address, and then you can just share it with them. For example, I'm just going to share it with my friend Hamza right now.
It's going to come into my inbox, right?
Yep. And so I'll just press send, and it just was sended to him, and he can come anytime he wants, and I can make him editable.
I see it.
I can make him edit, I can make him only comment, or I can make him just view.
Okay,
and then I have to say done, and then he can do it. See? And then he's here now, because you see that? It tells his name, and now he's here.
Use comments? Well, it's pretty simple. First of all, over here, here's like to review all the comments that you've posted or anybody else has posted. And also, you can also make your own comment, and if a person if a person gives a comment, you can send a comment back to them. All you do, click on them, and then type whatever you want. Like, okay. and it doesn't take any work at all. It's pretty easy. And also, in the sharing area, if you go to share up underneath your link or username, you have here, and you can type in anybody you want to share from the entire world.
Who did you share it with?
So far, I shared it with my mom to work at I shared it with my mom to work at home, and I also shared it with you so you can comment and do stuff just in case. And I am the owner. And yeah, in the invite also if you go right here, it says can edit, can comment, which means they can only comment and they can edit, and they can also view. And can view means you can't comment, you can't edit. All you can do is look at it.
All students use some form of a Google app for their project. They were required to share it with 2 other students and myself. Some chose to even share it with a parent in comment-only mode. As the students worked on their presentations, they looked at a rubric that they were going to use to evaluate themselves when finished. This would also be the same rubric that I would use, but we decided to do something a little different and expand this. The final resting place for these presentations was going to be on their own Google sites. We decided to invite other students in grades 3 through 5 to view these sites and also comment on their presentations through the use of a Google form. Students would get feedback in the form of a Google Sheet.
We would do that so when they grade you, we could see what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are, and when we see our weaknesses, we can see what we have to work on, so we could be like a better writer.
If I were to change things next time, I think I would start by having them evaluate each other even earlier in the year and introduce forms to do that. It proved to be a valuable assessment for them. They were able to learn the differences between superficial and quality feedback to one another. The students also learned how to open themselves up and take academic risks by sharing their work as they went through the writing process with their peers, and some of them even shared it with their parents, which isn't always easy. But altogether, it did create for a stronger whole community. I've already shared this with some of my colleagues by inviting them into my room. I think that some teachers don't feel that grade 3 students are ready for this, but I feel that they doubt their own skills. That's why I tried to show them that I had different students become specialists in different areas. Once they felt comfortable with an app, they became another helper in the room. I'm a firm believer in the power of having kids teach other kids. My biggest takeaways during this course were on how to use Google Apps effectively to enhance communication, how to get students to value the widening a bigger audience for their work, and also having students look at how can you actually combine different apps to get what you want and help your work be more effective and quicker.